You can book as many meetings as you want with prospects, but if you do not know how to demo and close those prospects, you are not going to scale your business very far. Welcome to episode 4 of this completely free course on how to start your own online SaaS business. If you're new here, I'm Nate Pearson, and I'm posting all of these episodes completely free here on YouTube on how to start your business from scratch. The reason why I'm doing this is because when I first started making money online, I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars on a course, get into the course, and then have them suggest all these softwares that I then had to go spend thousands of more dollars on. I just want you to be able to take the money that you would have spent on a course and actually invest it into your business so you can scale it faster and have a quicker start than what I had. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to demo and close clients. If you haven't seen episodes 1, 2, and 3, I talk about how to build out your business offer, craft your business model and your services, how to build them all out, and then how to actually reach out and get consistent meetings with prospects every single week by building out your outreach system so you can get to this point, which is actually demoing and closing your clients. Now, in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to demo these clients yourself, but in later episodes, when we talk about scaling the business, we're also going to talk about how to automate some of these things. So again, when you're first getting started, you have to do a lot of the work yourself, but then as you scale it further, you're able to automate things, hire teams out, and we're going to go through that whole process so you can scale up to actually making a solid 10K plus a month. And since I'm posting this whole course for free, all I ask is that you like this video, leave a comment if you find it helpful, and feel free to subscribe to the channel because it really helps us grow. And if you haven't gotten started with GoHighLevel, I will post a link in the description for a free trial. I give all my affiliates access to my automations, my templates, and everything else in between so that you can have a much faster start than what I had when I first started my online business. So let's go ahead and jump into episode 4. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the GoHighLevel platform and talk about how you can actually demo this thing so you can close clients. Because if you're not going to be good at demoing, like I said in the intro, you're going to have a really hard time scaling your business. So there's two types of demos that you can do. You can do a show how demo and a tell how demo. And there's benefits to both, and I'll talk through both of those. But show how is actually jumping into the platform itself, showing them how you can actually solve their problem by giving real life examples. And then the tell how is going through more of a slide deck, which I will actually provide you with a whole slide deck, and all the other resources in this video I will post in the free community that will be linked in the description down below, and all the resources from the previous episodes. So the call scripts, the email cadences for the outreach systems, those will all be posted there as well. So feel free to join that if you haven't already. But the tell how demo is going through a slide deck. Now, if you run people through an entire slide deck, you're going to bore them and they are going to tune out, and it's not going to be very impactful. But there's a few reasons why slide decks and having a slide deck available is important. So number one, to be able to recap your conversation after you're done, right? Because they might be meeting with other vendors and other marketing companies. So how do you summarize your information into one place so they can remember, oh yeah, like that's why that service or that product was more powerful than the other one. And then two, it's a great way to guide the conversation and to establish next steps and to also set good expectations of what their buying process looks like. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth here in just a second. But a few demo tips just to get us started. So the top 4 that I want to go over real quick is number 1, be conversational and be human. People like human connections. And when you can be human, you're going to have a lot easier time selling. Now, don't worry. I know your first demo is probably going to be really nerve-wracking, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get, and the more natural it's going to feel. So just keep doing them. It's going to get better. Number 2, ask great questions that relate to their business. So what I mean by this is get them talking. Again, you're trying to solve a problem. If you just get on here and you just go feature, see you later, right? What I mean by that is you're just feature dumping, right? You're not trying to actually tie it to value. Again, you're not going to probably be very impactful to them as a business owner. Number 3 here, let them talk and listen. And what I mean by this is don't focus on the next thing that you're always going to say. Again, make it conversational, make it human. Again, when you're first getting started, if it sounds a little bit more scripted, that's okay. Again, if you haven't done sales before, that's just how it's going to be. You have to get through some of those first calls to get to that point where it sounds more natural, but try to be really intent when it comes to your listening so that you can actually follow up with a good question afterwards to have them open up more and more and more. Again, just so you can drive as much value as possible. And then number 4, always establish next steps. And what I mean by this is never get off a call without next steps in place. Because if you do so, what's going to happen is you're going to have these great calls, you're going to get all excited, and then boom, they're going to ghost you. I'm sorry, it's just going to happen. And even if you do establish next steps, sometimes you're going to get ghosted. That's just the nature of sales, but try to mitigate it as much as possible by always having next steps in place. Now we're going to come back to this slide deck in a minute. And again, I'm going to post it in the free community so you can copy it yourself, switch some things around so you don't have to do the entire build out. I actually had a designer go ahead and build this whole thing out. So that should save you some time and some money there. But we're going to jump into the platform and talk about how to show off your platform during the demo, because this is where the power is. This is where you're going to have impact when you are going through this with a potential prospect. So I'm going to show two examples here. And again, no matter what business model that you built out from episode 2, where we actually built our services, these same principles are going to apply to any of these type of services. So we're going to use AI agents as an example. So just to recap real quick, AI agents is a way for business owners to capture leads, whether they're calling in or they're coming to their website or their social channels to chat in to schedule an appointment or maybe just ask some questions. So step 1, you have to build this out. But once that's built out, step 2, what we're going to do is we're going to come to sites down here in the bottom left. And we're going to come up here and go to websites. Now, what's really cool about GoHighLevel is you don't have to actually have a website attached to a domain in order to demo your services. And I'll show you what I mean by this. So I'm going to come in here into this lawn care business, and I'm going to preview this link. Now, once I'm in here, let's pretend and put on our hat as if we're in a demo now. We are demoing a lawn care business owner, and they are interested in our AI chatbot services. And if you remember, the reason that they are probably interested in this is because they want a better way to capture leads, to have a better speed to lead so they don't miss out on things. So when you're going through your demo, drive that pain and ask them questions around, hey, have you ever missed a lead before? Have you ever had someone come in, maybe your speed to lead wasn't fast enough, and then they went and found another company to provide a quote for them, to provide services for them, and you missed out on that person? What are some things that you want to solve on your websites to make sure that you never miss a lead? Okay, now you have that conversation, you're going back and forth with them. And now we come and we show them the power of our service to build that value. Well, hey, I actually built out this chatbot for you. I have this little demo website here so you can see what it looks like and how we can install this into your own website. And if you need a website, side note, we can build that for you too. But I'm going to go ahead and open this up here in the bottom right, and we're just going to start a conversation. And I have some previous conversations just from previous demos, and I'm just going to say hello. And now it's just going to give us a minute to assign us the best person to help you out. And now I'm not going to make you watch me go back and forth, but on the actual demo, you can have them chat through this. So let me go ahead, have a quick chat with this bot, and then I'll unpause the video so you can see what it looks like. So I just went ahead and said, hey, do you offer flower bed cleaning services? And then it just gives some information based off of the knowledge that we built into the bot. Again, if you're like, wait, how do I build this bot though? You might have missed episode 2. Go back and watch that. I just said, sure. And then it says, hey, could you please provide me with your name, your address? Also, let me know which days work best. Put it in there. Hey, thanks, Nathan. Suggested time in a day. Gives me a few time slots. And this is actually connected to a real calendar, which is really cool. So it's giving them real times. It's not going to overlap with business owners' time slots they might have filled already. And you can tell them that, right? When you're going through this demo, tell them that, hey, we can connect this to your calendar. So it's always live updating when you're booking appointments. I give them a time that works best and just says, hey, perfect, you're on the schedule. Is there anything else I can help you with? I say no thanks, and we're good to go. And just like that, right? So we go through and we demo the business owner, we show them that chat live, and then we start building the value. So, hey, business owner, this is what's really cool about this. You are never going to miss a lead again because this bot, it never takes breaks, it never sleeps. If you have an employee that goes on a lunch break and a lead happens to come in right there and then, they're waiting around for an hour for someone to reach out to them and it doesn't happen, this bot is always going to be able to capture these leads, whether it's on your social channels, whether it's on your website, wherever it might be. Having this increased speed to lead is going to increase your business by X percentage, right? Different things like that. So hopefully this gives you an idea of how you can actually show someone how to demo it. And again, if you want my templates and this bot that I actually just demonstrated right here to go ahead and use, you can click the link in the description to sign up for a free trial of GoHighLevel. Once you go through the free trial, I give all my affiliates access to my automations, my templates, my training centers, just everything. So you can get a much quicker start than what I had. You can take that same exact bot, run it through that same exact conversation because it's all trained to do so. And then boom, you're ready to go demo clients. So trying to make it as easy as possible for you. All right, let's go ahead and jump back into the GoHighLevel GoHighLevel platform. And I'm going to show you one more example here. And we're going to jump into the ad launcher for this next example. All right. And if you don't remember or know what the ad launcher is, again, go back to episode 2. That's where we build out all of our services. But essentially, the ad launcher is a way for business owners to launch Facebook, Instagram, and Google ads in a few clicks. So here's your value prop. Here's your pitch. So, hey, business owner, obviously you hopped on this call because you were probably interested in saving thousands of dollars for running your own marketing campaigns and keeping it in-house. Tell me a little bit about your experience with the current marketing company that you're working with, or marketing companies that you've worked with in the past. What are some of the results you've seen? How much have they been charging you? What are you wanting to get out of this call today? What are you wanting to solve within your business, right? Again, ask those type of questions to start opening up the conversation. What you'll see is people will start opening up to you and being like, yeah, like we're getting charged $2,000 a month, and the leads are super low quality, and people no show, and yada yada yada. So I just don't think it's worth the money. Okay, great. Hey, well, let me show you how you can launch your own ads in just a few clicks. And again, you can pull this up, have it all ready to go on a demo account, and you can say, check out how fast this is. And you don't have to deal with the headache of the Facebook, I shouldn't say ad launcher, the Facebook's ad center or the Google My Business ad center. So I'm just going to go ahead and go launch new campaign. I'm going to select Facebook and Instagram. We have these templates that we preload for you. So you don't have to worry about, coming up with your own ad copy or even your own images. We'll load those all in. We always encourage our business owners to replace these with their own images, but these are proven templates that have a really good ROI. So we're going to go ahead and select the dental copy here. We have all these different templates that we can select from. Once you've found one that you like, you can go ahead and select it here. Awesome. And then once we're in here, you can go ahead and put in your custom price to switch out the variables over here on the ad copy. You can select the campaign type, set your daily budget, put in your website, put in the radius in which you want to launch the ads to. So if you want to target people within, a 10-mile radius, 20-mile radius, or if you want to type in certain zip codes because you only want to target certain areas, you can do that. You can click optional info here. If there's any custom audiences that you want to load, lead forms, different campaigns, whatever it might be, select your own media. Say again, we want to put in your own images here. You can put that in here. And then once you're all done, hit launch campaign and you're good to go. And guess what? We're only going to charge you $149 a month for this versus spending $2,000. And you can have all your marketing in-house. We'll set up all the automations on the back end so your team gets notified as soon as they get a lead in so they can call and follow up with them, and you won't have to lift a finger. So again, you see what we're doing there. We are showing them the value in their business. And as we're going throughout the demo, we're asking good conversations, or we're asking good questions. We're keeping it conversational. So again, we can show the value, not get too salesy, and we're just showing them how we can solve an actual problem. All right, now that we went through the show how, hopefully you can apply that to any type of business model that you're going through. We're going to talk about this slide deck that I put together here, and hopefully this can help you out, again, get a quicker start. So I'm not going to go through every single slide. Again, you can join the free community to check this out and redesign it, make a copy, make it your own. But in this slide deck, there's a few things that I think are important. So right here at the very beginning of the presentation, we're going to ask the question, hey, why are you here? What are you wanting to get out of this demo? This is important because before you, again, go in and start feature dumping, you want to see what problem do they need to solve today so you can focus on those specific areas. So you'll see here, again, we don't want to walk them through the whole slide deck, but it's good just to kind of keep you organized and, again, create good conversation. The next thing that we're going to talk about here is the timeline to start. So how soon are you wanting new patients? So again, my niche when I first started using this slide deck was dentists and orthodontists before I expanded. And then I'm also asking the question, how many new consults do they want to add per month? And this was just like a good way to set expectations, because then on my end, I knew what was their urgency like, right? Did they want to start this next week? Did they want to start tomorrow? Is this like in a few months? It kind of helped me organize my opportunities in my pipeline, so I knew which ones to focus the most on. And then how many new consults did I want every single month, or did they want every single month? This was great because then I could set proper expectations with them, because I think when you're demoing a business owner, something that's really important to remember is you don't want to create like false hope or false expectations. Your offer is everything, and guarantees are something that are so famous in the SMMA, digital marketing, online business world. And if you don't know what I mean by that, what I mean is like so many gurus out there will encourage you, like, get on a call and say, I guarantee you that we'll increase your business by $50,000 a month in 30 days, or, whatever. Because if you don't have a good guarantee, you're not going to land clients. And I don't know, like, for me personally, that always just put a little bit of a pit in my stomach, because I just always had a hard time doing that, especially when I was first starting out and I didn't have a ton of experience in this, because I'm like, I don't know what my results look like. And I don't want to, lie to people and give them these false guarantees that I don't know if I can actually fulfill. And so when it came to this type of question and this type of discussion, business owners actually really appreciated it, because if someone was like, oh yeah, we want to add, 30 new consults every single month, I would kind of take a step back and say, hey, well, that's great. What's your budget like? Like, how much are you wanting to spend? Oh, we're only wanting to spend $1,000 a month, max. Okay, well, that breaks down to about $30 a day-ish. Based off of our data, this is what you can expect on the number of leads, how many of those are going to convert. And then what I would do is I would break down the math for them. So let me just kind of go down here to the ROI example. So this was like real data, right, from our other clients. And we would say, like, hey, just let's pretend you had 10 new patients that started at $5,000 each. That's going to be $50,000 of revenue from Facebook and Instagram ads, and say that you spent, $1,000 on ads, $1,000 on our services, you're going to get a 15.5 times ROI on your spend. And then we would kind of break it down from best case scenario all the way to worst case. And I would just say, you only got 2 new patients. And again, I would break it down, and they were $5,000 each, because mine was a high ticket offer, because I should say high ticket offer. It was a high ticket service, because it was getting braces, and on average, it was around $5,000 each. So that would be $10,000 in new revenue. And then after all your fees with us and, the ad spend, that's going to be $8,000 total, or a 2.3 times ROI. So business owners really appreciated it, because I would kind of take a step back and say, hey, you're probably not going to get 30 if this is how much you want to spend. But based off of our data and with that type of ad spend, you could probably expect to get 2 to 3 new consults a week. And then out of those 2 to 3, you're going to have, X percentage to convert. And then this is what the ROI is going to look like. So again, when it comes to guarantees and having these discussions, I think it's really good to talk about timelines and setting those expectations, because this is how you keep long-term clients. In your demo, if you set the proper expectations, this is how you mitigate your churn later, which is going to help scale your business. All right, and now that I'm done with that rant, I'll fly through this slide deck real quick. So this just has things about like what our process looks like, how much does it cost, what they can expect, cost per lead, everything in between. So again, you can take this, you can go ahead and make it your own. I will put it in the free community, and then you'll have it to be able to demo for yourself. So let's go ahead and take a step back. So when you are demoing a client, make a good combination of the show how and the tell how. And what I mean by that is have your product pulled up and ready to go. So depending on what offer or business service that you are demoing, you can solve a problem and make it conversational as you go throughout the process of showing them how you can solve that problem. And then at the same time, have this slide deck pulled up. Don't go through every single slide and bore them to the point where they're just multitasking, not really paying attention. But go ahead and focus on some of the things like, hey, why are you here? What's your timelines? Maybe show them just a few key points based off of your conversation. If they have, specific questions about follow-up, automations, whatever it might be. And then you have this resource to go ahead and send them to afterwards, so they can remember your value prop and what you offer and how you are different versus the other vendors that they might be evaluating. All right, I hope you found that helpful. Good luck on demoing and closing some of your first clients. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Again, I will attach a link in the description to get the GoHighLevel platform, so you can get started building your own online SaaS business and create freedom in your own life. And with that, we'll see you in the next episode.